Going on, guys? Rocking my t-shirt of the tax guy who does my taxes. He sent me this shirt. He probably don't even, well, he definitely doesn't even know that I'm putting this on YouTube, but thought I'd show my shirt that he gave me. It's very nice of him. So, have a customer who asked me some information that he wants to buy a vehicle. So I'm gonna kind of give you this information, and hopefully it helps you out for anybody who's looking to buy a vehicle or possibly buy one in the future, right? So when you buy a car, obviously having good credit is important, because the worse credit you have, the higher interest rate that you're going to get. And when you have higher interest rate and you buy a car 5, 6, 7 years, that's a lot of money you're paying extra over that time. So it's important to have really good credit. When you go to a car, an auto dealership to buy a car, right? If you don't have your own bank with financing, obviously you're gonna have your credit run at the dealer in hopes of getting financed through the dealer. Well, you're gonna fall into what's called tiers. Tier 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Tier 1 is the best. That's very good credit. I think it's like at least 720 and above. And then you have tier 2 and so on. Well, tier 1, a lot of times when you go to a dealership and you're tier 1, they're gonna finance you up to 140% of the price of the vehicle. So you might ask me, well, why do I need 140%? I just need to finance the price of the vehicle. Well, when you have the MSRP of the vehicle, or whatever price you agreed on with a dealer after negotiating, on top of that price, now you're adding taxes, you're adding fees, tag, title, all that stuff. That has to be added onto the price. So then it becomes more than 100%, unless you're gonna put money down to cover that. Also, what if you're trading in a vehicle, right? Let's say your vehicle is worth $3,000. The dealer gives you $3,000 for the vehicle, but you actually owe $5,000. Well, now that's an extra $2,000 that if you have tier 1 credit, you could put that $2,000 that you're negative into the price of the new vehicle, and they'll still finance 100% of the vehicle. So having tier 1 credit is very important, especially if you don't have money to give down. It's so expensive when you don't have good credit. The interest rates that they charge you, having to have down payments because you don't have great credit. So I'm gonna just refer back to some of my notes here about that. Like we said, the tiers will implicate your finance rate and how much the bank will finance. So if you have a tier 1, you might get one of those special offers that they've been offering during this pandemic of 0% financing for the time or the term that you buy your car. 0% finance, you cannot meet that. Or interest, I should say, 0% interest rate. But that's if you're a tier 1. If you're not a tier 1 and you have less than desirable credit, well then you're not gonna get that offer. So again, having good credit saves you so much money. It helps you so much, right? But let's see, what else do I have here? Tier 2 is still good, right? So let's pretend you have tier 1. They give you 140%. They finance for your vehicle. If you have, let's say tier 2, they might finance 110% of the vehicle. Tier 3, 100% of the vehicle. And lower, let's say you have, it'll only give you 90% of what you owe on a vehicle. I mean, how much the vehicle costs. They'll loan you 90% of it. So now, because you don't have good credit, you're more of a risk to the bank. They're only going to give you 90% of whatever the vehicle's worth, which means you're going to have to come up with 10% down for that vehicle. And if you don't have that 10%, you can't get the vehicle. So very important to be at least a tier 2, I would say, or maybe tier 3, but you want to always try to be tier 1, tier 2 to get that vehicle that you want, because you'll never have a problem getting finance. You can finance up to 140% of the vehicle. And not that you really want to do that either, because if we go back to that scenario where you owe $5,000 on your car, but they're only going to give you $2,000, now you are upside down $3,000 on that vehicle, they're going to put that $3,000 on that you are upside down into your new vehicle. So let's say your new vehicle that you're getting is $50,000. Let's just say now you, instead of $50,000, you owe $53,000, right? As soon as you drive off that parking lot, the value of your vehicle is already going to go down 20%. So now that $50,000, take away 20%, however much that is, plus add on the $3,000 that you're upside down, you're already paying a bill that you're upside down on by so many thousands of dollars. That's just the way it is with cars. So good credit is important. Try not to trade in a vehicle if you're upside down, but if you have to, you have to. And there's nothing wrong with, if you want to find it, because now they finance cars up to 7 years, which nobody really keeps their cars 7 years, but there's nothing wrong with doing that if you know that you're going to pay it off early. So you do 7 years just to have a lower comfortable payment in case you have a month, 2, 3 months that get rough. But then if you get a job where you're getting paid better, you could pay off that vehicle earlier, make double payments or what have you, and there's no penalty for that. They only charge you interest for the time you have the vehicle. Once you pay it off, then they don't charge you interest anymore. So you could do that too. If you know that things in your future are getting ready to change, that's fine too. So I hope that helps you out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to come up with some more informational videos coming out soon. I try to post one once a week on Sundays or Mondays. So thanks again for watching. Check in with you next time.